Hello, viewers. We are going to share our thought with you on the topic economic policy paralysis in Indian economy. Economic policy paralysis with Trump's trade policy within his America First vision is hitting hard the Indian economy, where it seems the depreciating rupee may go below to rupees 100 per dollar in coming few months. So, in the midst of rising politics and falling economics with production less, consumption less, jobless led economic growth within the credit led economic growth model puts question mark before us whether Viksit Bharat hopes lie on the tumbling stock market or with the depreciating rupee. Here we would like to give few words which has been told by the youngest visionary ex Prime Minister of India Rajiv Gandhiji in 1985 from the dais of Bombay, where he has said for economic prosperity or for Indian economic prosperity, there is a need of quality goods production of global quality standard to compete in global market. Here the vision was just by involving the quality goods of quality standard, by involving our skilled tech savvy youth power, so that our qualities should be met up to the global quality level. Here the vision of Mr. Gandhi was to drag out Indian economy from consumers led captive market to emerge India as a manufacturing hub where quality good of global standard to compete in global market should be met with the involvement of quality and tech savvy skilled youth power. But alas, so later the sinking Indian economic boat in troubled economic water, the best navigator or Indian economic navigator and the globally recognized the best finance minister and ex Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, had to come forward to safely navigate the Indian troubled economic boat from troubled water. In this situation, he has done very well. So, the BJP led government economic policy short sightedness has made Indian economy fundamentally weaker one, where we see a stagnant income, a stagnant basis, mounting debt, jobless-led economic growth, which are apparently seen. So it is neither a temporary situation nor a cyclical economic situation. It is basically, structurally, and fundamentally a bigger position where Indian economy has been forced to stand in global sky or global market where its produced goods are not recognized globally. This is the situation. So we have narrated the words of ex-PM Rajiv Gandhi. Further, such type of situation only favors the rich and the big corporates. This is the situation in present Indian economy. Further, in 2025, fiscal and monetary policies with tax concession and repo rate cut in the midst of tumbling stock market, rupee depreciation, outflow of capital, foreign capital, jobless-led economic growth, etc. are presenting a vague future economic future. Vague in the sense that whether Indian economy is moving on the dream path of Viksit Bharat for $30 trillion economy, or it is moving on the path of economic paralysis within the Trump's America First vision. This is the situation. Now we will see very first, in brief, the fiscal policy makers policy, then monetary policy makers policy, and lastly Indian stock market situation. In truth, here the fiscal policy makers within 45 days after the presentation of 2025 to 26 budget has demanded huge budgetary expenditure, which shows the crucial or critical physical physical situation of government and fiscal policy makers. In 2025-26 budget, government has presented a tax revenue wide 48 lakh crores out of total budget of 50 lakh crores. When we compare this to the last year's budget, we see that last year the tax collection has remained by rupees 46 lakh crores out of 43 lakh crores, not 46, 43 lakh crores in last year budget tax, total tax collection has remained out of total budgetary provision of rupees 48 lakh crores. Here we see that in this budget there is a gap of rupees 5 lakh crores tax revenue. In the present budget it has remained by rupees 48 lakh crores, while in last year budget it has remained by rupees 43 lakh crores. So the gap is 5 lakh crores. But government says that it has given a concession, tax concession of rupees 1 lakh crores to boost up consumption. But seeing the situation, it is clear that what is true. But so far as tax concession of rupees 1 lakh crores is concerned, we would like to present the total annual consumption of India has or is bearing around rupees 200 lakh crores. In the midst of rupees 200 lakh crores, the tax concession as claimed by government by rupees 1 lakh crores is a very insignificant amount which comprises around 0.5% out of total annual private consumption. This is the situation. On the other hand, when we see the 25-26 budget that government claims a GDP growth rate by 6.3%. But to achieve a Viksit Bharat goal for it, or to achieve or to get rupees, not rupees, $30 trillion economy for the India is not possible with the GDP growth rate of 6.3% annually. Here, India needs at least above to 9.5% GDP growth rate annually up to or continuously 2047 to achieve $30 trillion economy for making India a Viksit Bharat. In this situation, we see the growth rate, jobless led growth rate, production less and consumption less Indian economy is not supporting the government claims of Viksit Bharat, which is going to achieve $30 trillion economy by 2047. At least at present, India has not even achieved $5 trillion economy as has been promised by the government 5 years back. This is the situation. Now we will see towards the monetary policy makers' vision. In 2025, the monetary policy makers means Reserve Bank of India has curtailed or presented a 0.25% repo rate to remain it around 6.25% just to boost up private investment led private consumption to boost up GDP growth rate. In this situation, we would like to say that 0.25% repo rate cut seems it will be given or it will give the ineffective impact on the private investment and private consumption, because in the midst of Trump's America First vision for global trade war is not favoring our claim. In the midst of productionless, consumptionless, jobless-led economic growth. So, this 0.25% or even more cut will naturally be made ineffective and certainly will bring impact on inflation or price rise, interest rate, yield curve and exports, and these areas will be suffer within the Trump's America's first vision. So, India government or Reserve Bank should ponder over these things. Further, now we will see the situation of Indian stock market. Indian stock market, the place where money is generated out of money, has been badly crushed and injured in the stampede with the mad ran, with the mad rush or the mad run away of foreign currencies from Indian market, which had badly crushed the Indian stock market. So badly crushed or badly injured, Indian stock market has been put on ventilator in ICU by losing investors' money around above to rupees 91 lakh crores within or since last 4 months. This is the situation. This shows Indian stock market's financial vulnerability. In such a vulnerable situation, Indian stock market is losing investors' trust, not the investors of domestic level, but investors of foreign level, where the trade war is on the front. Rupee is depreciating, foreign exchange is sinking, and foreign exchange rate is increasing. In this situation, Reserve Bank of India and SEBI must take the thing seriously to restore investors' confidence in Indian stock market by seeing the global trade war situation in the midst of rupee depreciation and outflow of capital and production less Indian economic growth. So the need of hour is to find out the best economic navigator who may be able to navigate the sinking Indian economic boat and to drag out it safely to the bank by or from the troubled economic water where global scenario is not good, where not in America but even in European countries we see the situation is in favor of recession. They are clearly or indirectly admitting that recessionary situation may force the global economy where the GDP growth, where global growth rate will be lower in the situation of America's first and global trade war, where inflation in some countries, recession in other countries will prevail, and it will lastly impact on the consumers, on the prices, on the interest rate, on yield curve, on growth rate, and as well as a production, lower production with support of big corporates. Now the global situation of global trade is shifting in favor of multinational or transnational companies, where transnational company is dictating to multinational company and multinational company to national corporate. In this situation, everything is concentrating in one hand, where transnational company will force the global economy according to one's or according to its suitability. This is the situation. Thanks a lot of thanks to our viewers.